The WWE has been going crazy with returns as of late. First you had Nia Jax, then there was Randy Orton and CM Punk in the same night, and now we might be getting the return of Sasha Banks. This is what Sean Ross Sapp had to say about Mercedes money. I do think there's more of a possibility of Mercedes heading back to WWE than I did in August, when there was a working plan for Mercedes and AEW to work together, because when I followed up on that, I have not been told of any current active plan for that to happen. This is huge news for WWE and its women's division. Sasha Banks is a big time name. She left in 2022 after feeling like she was being disrespected with her booking, and after a long needed break and a taste of Japanese wrestling, she suffered an injury that put her on the shelf. At the time, there were many rumors about Sasha Banks potentially joining AEW. However, the injury put an end to those plans, and according to Sean Ross Sapp, those plans don't seem to be in the works anymore, and the rumors have been circulating that Sasha Banks is going to come back to WWE for some time now. With TKO in charge, they've had no problem throwing money at top names like The Rock, CM Punk, Nia Jax, and John Cena to return, and I think Sasha Banks coming back to WWE is a very real possibility, especially with Triple H under control of WWE and its creative process. I always did feel like she was going to come back to WWE, and I'm really happy about that. It seemed like she needed some time away for a little bit to explore the indies, but it might be time for her to come home. And just thinking about matches with Bianca Belair, Io Sky, and Jade Cargill has me excited for this return. I hope it does indeed happen. And if it does, Triple H better give her a long title reign, because that woman deserves it more than anybody I know. In other news, a new report came out stating that TKO is looking to reduce the amount of house shows that WWE puts on because it isn't too profitable. And I think this is great for a number of reasons. It saves the company money. They can use that money to reinvest in WWE. This could be for more signings in the future or whatever can make WWE more money or better as a whole. Not only that, but this is going to be great for talent altogether. They'll also have more energy and they'll be able to rest more, which will lead to less injuries, and they'll just have less of a chance of getting hurt at a live event. Then the best thing to come out of this is that wrestlers can spend more time with families. That's always a good thing. I've always thought WWE ran too many house shows anyways, so I think this is great news. Staying on the topic of TKO and behind the scenes of WWE, we got an update with Ariel Emanuel and Vince McMahon's relationship. Sports Illustrated reports that sources within WWE have shared that Vince McMahon has no plans of leaving the company. The focus for McMahon is handling the assignments assigned to him by Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel. All accounts internally are that their working relationship remains a positive one. We don't know exactly what this means per se, but I really think it doesn't matter. As long as Vince McMahon isn't getting in the creative process of WWE, I'm fine with Vince still being a part of the company. It doesn't matter regardless. Somebody in the comments did say that Vince McMahon is playing with an unplugged controller, and I thought that was one of the funniest and most accurate things that I've read. We will have a problem though if this old fool tries to rip up some of Triple H's plans 30 minutes before the show. That is when I will be mad. But for now, I'm not mad, and I'm liking the WWE as a whole with Triple H running things. This is totally random, but I wanted to include it in the video. It's Lash legend body slamming Otis. This is wildly impressive stuff. I just couldn't believe it.
No freaking way! What?
Another interesting clip is a fan trying to attack Grayson Waller at a house show. This man has some true heat for a fan to jump the barricade and actually try to attack him. I really think that's wild to think of in 2023. Let's roll the clip.
Yeah, you've never got a match on Tinder in your life for us. This guy's got his hat backwards because he thinks he's cool, but he's got half a beard. Hey, do something, lad. You're like 14 pounds. Hey, you guys came to the wrong show. Justin Bieber's not here. Sorry.
And the last thing I want to talk about is Logan Paul's most recent podcast, Impulsive with Randy Orton. We learned a lot of new information. The first thing being that Dom stays in character at all times, or he's still pissed off about his dad. This is what Logan said about him.
I said to Dom backstage, I was like, your dad's a legend, man. He goes, yeah, fuck that guy.
The second thing we learned is that Randy Orton revealed more details on his injuries.
So I changed a lot of stuff off this last 18 months. I really needed the time. I had a lot of, ailments. Of course, I mean, I couldn't stand for more than a couple minutes without having pain shoot down my legs. When I would sit, I had a disc that was slipping every time I would bend. So, on a plane, sitting here, my feet would go numb and I'd have pain shooting down my legs. Oh, it really sucked. It really was hard. But I had some great doctors. They fixed me up right. They didn't cut through any muscle, which would enable me to get back in the ring.
Honestly, we're really lucky to have Randy Orton back in WWE. It sounds like such a terrible injury that he did have and had to deal with. I do hope that he can still wrestle until he's 50 years old like he originally planned, but then again, you never know with the nature of the business. I'm just going to try to enjoy every moment, every time he's on our TV screens. And the last thing that I wanted to include from this interview is a clip of Randy Orton talking about why wrestling matches should be less scripted. This is the perfect explanation. This is exactly why I don't like spot fest that we get nowadays from WWE or even AEW.
It's hard to explain. It's kind of, so a lot of guys, and gosh, it's weird talking about putting matches together. Back in the day, we would never be sitting here talking to each other, talking about how we put shit together. But when you have so many things you're thinking about ahead of time, like all those things with Ray, you had them burned in.
For sure.
It's hard to kind of be in the moment. If you go out there, if you and me went out there and we had nothing laid out except for kind of, a beginning, a middle, and an end, there'd be a lot of gaps to fill. There'd be plenty of time to be in the moment. For me, not having all these spots, if you will, to remember, and it gives you the ability to be in the moment and be out there and actually listen to the people. What we do is kind of, get a temperature for the crowd, and we can adjust on the fly. We can pivot when we want. When you have everything laid out, well, it's a choreographed Dancing with the Stars. I know where I'm going to be at this point in the match, and he's got to duck this, duck that. Here we go, over the top, through the table, da-da-da. You have the whole match laid out. You're probably sleeping the night before, dreaming about those spots. You'll get to a level eventually where you can go out there with some guys, and you can show up an hour before the show, talk very limitedly, and then go out there, and then those people are going to get something else. They're not going to get maybe the athleticism from a Randy Orton that they would from a Logan Paul, but what I can bring to the table is that emotion. And what a lot of guys, when you say that it's a little different with me than other guys, it's because I think most of those other guys are just thinking about what's next. So that's the difference.
Randy Orton is truly a master of the game, and that's why I think he's the GOAT. I keep saying it, and I will continue to do so. Anyways, I recommend watching that entire episode of Impulsive with Randy Orton, especially since you're a wrestling fan. It's a good one. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.